Hey, how y'all doing? Got another video today. Not just going down the rabbit hole. We're going to stay focused a little bit, specifically on some transitioning issues that transgender individuals go through and how they start in the process and what that looks like. I want to put a visual to everything that we're talking about. I think it's very important for people that may not be as involved in this subject as others that they know what's going on, especially if you have children, especially if they're in public schools. It's worth knowing what your public school is bringing to your children. So in this first video, we're just going to set the stage, and then in these next few, we're going to get a little deeper into what transitioning looks like on a real level. Subscribe, like the video. I appreciate y'all very much. And here we go.
You would be look at the Department of Education and HHS, because what is happening to children in this country is the perfect display of what woke and weaponized government is doing to people. And when you send your kid to the public school systems, they have gay porn in the libraries. They have teachers that are asking them are you sure you're a boy or girl today, and changing their pronouns without the parents knowing about it, and then putting them on a path to radical gender affirmation, where you have cross-sex hormones and then eventually genital mutilation. And what that does to a child, and if you listen to the detransitioners, this will give you the perfect insight, is make them a permanent pharmaceutical patient for the rest of their life. There's no way for them to ethically consent to any of this. And this is being done in the schools without the parents' knowledge. This is why you have $3 million to Montessori schools to train 3-year-olds on anti-racism. Why would you need to tell a 3-year-old something about the color of their skin and divide them oppressor versus oppressed, so that you put them on this path to adopting the woke ideology? And by the time they get to college, they can't even tell you what a woman is. So yeah, look at the Department of Education and HHS.
So, this is not something that can continue to be manufactured as okay. This isn't something that can continue to go under the rug. There is a responsibility to the individuals that know better to say it. This is not okay. Specifically transitioning medically, surgically, of a juvenile, of someone who is not of the age to make a consensual, informed decision. You can't buy a pack of cigarettes. You can't go buy alcohol. You can't buy weed, even if you're in a state that it's legal. You can't go to war. You can't buy a Playboy. But you can consent to having your penis cut off. It's unreal. It's unreal. And it happens. It is happening. It's not a one-off, 5, 10, 20 kids. Thousands and thousands and thousands of kids are going through medical portions of this procedure. Never mind the ones that they have in the dugout that they're starting out telling them that they're trans at 2 years old and 4 years old. These next few clips are coming from a page called Transitioners Justice, I believe. Let me make sure I get it right. Yeah, Transition Justice. They focus on and highlight individuals of the trans community that are detransitioning, and they get shit on probably the most. The only people that get shit on more than the common sense warriors that are just saying basic truth are the individuals who have gone through the process, medically specifically, have had horrible complications, have come to the terrible realization that these physical changes did not do anything for their mental issue, and they tell their stories. So here's the first one.
When I was 16, I thought being a boy was more important to me than having kids.
16.
But now, at 21, I wonder why I was allowed to make that decision so young.
I don't want to interrupt these. I want to let them have, say their little story in totality before I comment. But I just want to make it clear that through these videos here, not all of them say it, but all of them are young, under the age of 24. Every single person that you see here, now they all look way older than that. And that's not, I'm not being rude or mean. I'm just saying these are the types of things that happen when you try to take the opposite, especially testosterone, but either one of them, even the estrogen, it's crazy. But it's a common thing. You'd almost think that you were talking to adults that were making informed decisions at this time, but no, these were children. And they're still barely outside of that, 20 years old, 21 years old, 22 years old. So let me shut my mouth.
As a fully medically transitioned transgender adult, I have suffered many life-threatening complications because of it.
I am in pain. Everywhere. All of the time.
When gender-affirming care damaged my health and jeopardized my singing career, I felt I had nowhere to turn.
As a young person who fell prey to the illusion that gender-affirming care and transition could help treat my complex PTSD, I'm relieved that there can be some form of justice for the additional medical trauma that I've endured.
Please, scream from the mountaintops. Stop transing kids.
I did not know that this was going to happen to my body when I gave informed consent.
If you or your child has been harmed by gender-affirming...
So, this page, they have lawsuits, multiple lawsuits going on with different entities involved in this. And I hope that they sue the shit out of everybody into the ground. The doctors that would have the audacity to prescribe these drugs or to do these crazy life-altering surgeries. It's something to think about. I didn't think about it until I heard it the other day. Do you know that most of these individuals that have medically transitioned when they're younger, and there's more and more every day, do you realize that most of them have never and will never have a sexual orgasm? Yeah, it doesn't matter when you're 12, when you're 9, but when you're 20, 25, that's just one oddball thing. But could you imagine? All right. So, second one. This is crazy. This is crazy. Just look at this shit.
It's day 46 from RFF File Class C. If you don't know what this is, I am transgender and I have been in transition for over 7 years. I've went through a few different surgeries, but the one recently, which I just talked about, is where they take a skin graft from your arm to create a phallus.
My arm did not give me any complications. This was actually the easiest part.
Look at that.
It didn't quite go as planned. I did stage 1, which was the graft off of my arm, the scrotoplasty, vaginectomy, urethral lengthening, and a skin graft in my leg to fix my arm.
Look at that.
Now, with the surgery, there is a lot that goes into it, a lot that, can happen, and usually ends up with risk of complications.
And multiple complications, ranging from pulmonary embolisms to a urethral infection to staph, MRSA, septic shock, and ultimately C. diff. The C. diff led me to needing a fecal transplant in order to get my body back in health in order to actually heal from these surgeries.
It's day 46 from RFF File Class C.
This is happening. This is happening. And there are a lot of people that are talking about it. They don't like to platform the detransitioners at all. They just, See, for nonsense like this to continue to carry on, other than just the ignorance and the woeful ignorance of a lot of people that know better, above and beyond all that, they have to have some forms of protection in order to hold this shit together. And one of the things that they can't do is have a whole crew of people that have been through this thing that they say is going to fix their gender dysphoria, that is so necessary for, you know, the big thing that they say is the doctors love to tell the parents, would you, if say they've got a daughter and the daughter is going to be a boy, they say, would you rather have an unalive daughter or would you rather have a live son? And you know what I mean? These parents, like, I don't know. I'm not even going to speak on the level of the parents. I don't know. I have 2 daughters, both school age, and I don't know how outside individuals get that ingrained without the parents seeing it coming. I can't believe, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. My daughters and I have very open communication, so maybe it's not the same. But I just know that I don't know. The adults in the situation, it's crazy. And I'm going to say it again. All of these individuals that you see right now while they're talking to you are under the age of 25. 24, I think, is the oldest one. I think that was the guy with the dark beard. They look like they're in their 30s.
If you don't know what this is, I am...
Oh, hold on. Last one.
So like many children and teens today, I identified myself as transgender for years. Everyone in my life immediately affirmed my new identity, either out of full support for it or just to stay neutral and not cause any issues. But the constant affirmation solidified me in my transgender identity. No one meant to lock me into an identity that would later leave me broken, ashamed, and more confused than before. They were really all just being nice. But the social transition eventually wasn't enough, and I soon felt I needed to take testosterone. And when that wasn't enough, I had a double mastectomy. And when that still wasn't enough, I had a total hysterectomy, including the removal of my uterus, cervix, fallopian tubes, and both ovaries. There's no point of contentment during a gender transition. We get fleeting moments of euphoria, but ultimately one step leads straight into the next. And I thought that in the end I could really become a man, but all I became was a mutilated and abused version of my old self. Social transition is a big deal, and we're lying when we say that any of this is reversible.
It's unreal. I'm gonna put a link to them, to their Instagram page in the description of this video. This is not just a one-off. This is the go-to. If a child speaks to medical professionals in a lot of states and they tell that medical professional, psychiatrist, doctor, whatever the case might be, that they think they're in the wrong body, however it is that they say that, however it is they communicate that, the go-to, the only proper way for them to handle it legally, by rule and law, is to affirm that child. To tell that child, okay, Sally, you think you're a boy? You're a boy. You're a boy. And then to help facilitate moving forward with that new thought process, whatever that means. A lot of situations are what one of the individuals speaking said, that the people around them that would affirm them, they were just being nice, a lot of them. Didn't necessarily agree with it, but this isn't just a roll call for a play. This isn't just dress up. This is none of that. This is permanent, life-altering, damaging, mentally, physically, just every level of life for these children. If you want to do that when you're an adult, but these are children. So I'm going to leave it at that. I appreciate y'all checking out the video. Like it, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment whether you agree, whether you disagree. I want to hear it. I'm looking for good faith discussion. If you can help me understand or try to have me see it from a different point of view. But I just think, no, it's got to stop on any level, anywhere, at least in this country. So I appreciate y'all. Have a good night, and we'll see you on the next one.